Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are looking at obviously the Ichimoku cloud, and I'm really excited to kind of share with you guys my thoughts on this. I think Ichimoku can be such a powerful tool if you know how to use it. As with any indicator, I always advise using price action along with other confluence. You don't just enter a trade blindly using an indicator, but this one is really, really cool. So yeah, hopefully you'll like my take on it. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do that. It really helps me out a lot and lets me know that you like the content that I put out. And yeah, let's get right into it. So it looks like this, you guys. Like when you go to TradingView, and really like the examples I'm showing you today, they're all based on TradingView. Okay, so you're just going to go to the indicator section in TradingView and just look up Ichimoku Cloud, and you'll plot it. And when you plot it, it looks like a mess. Okay, so it looks like this, and it looks like a darn mess. I know that, but bear with me. I'm going to show you how to really, really simplify this indicator. Okay, when you click like the little settings button, it kind of looks like a weird little star thing. It's going to bring up the style. Okay, so you're going to go over to style. And these are the lines you're going to see. So when I plot it, I don't touch it. Like I don't change the colors and stuff, but if it helps you and you want to change the colors, by all means, you can do that. Really quickly, just going to go over what the different lines are called, but we're going to go into more detail in a little bit. So we have the conversion line, which is our blue line. We have the baseline, okay, and that's kind of this burgundy one right here. We have the lagging span. That's this green guy here. These two lead lines, they're kind of look like buttons here, like that you can check off. And I'll show you how unchecking these later is going to really simplify the cloud for you. But these two here are just the lines on the cloud. So you don't need to worry about those. And then the background where it says plots background, that's just the color of the actual cloud here. Okay, so I know it looks like a mess. I know it all sounds confusing. It's really not. We're going to get into it shortly and I'll simplify it for you. So the blue and the burgundy line, I'm going to call it red for the rest of the video, but it is like a burgundy. So the blue and the red line are called conversion and baselines. Okay. And their purpose is, well, basically, first I'm going to get into what they are. So they're 9 and 26-day EMAs, basically, is what they are. Now, it's calculated a little bit different for the Ichimoku cloud. So if you were to plot like a 9 and 26-day EMA alongside the Ichimoku cloud, it's going to look a bit different. But for the purpose of what you need to know, they're just EMAs, okay? And now getting into what their purpose is, they act as entry signals when they cross over. So when you see them crossing over at different points throughout, they act as entry signals. We're going to get into how that works, but that's the basis of that, okay? Now, I know this looks really simplified compared to what you saw up here. And I am going to show you how we're going to simplify and make this look really, really neat on your chart so it doesn't look like a mess, okay? I'm going to show you how I've done that here. But for now, we're just going to talk about what the different lines are. The green line we see here is called the lagging span. And basically it just represents price from 26 days ago, okay? And the purpose of this line is that it signifies trend strength and momentum. So when there's a big space between price and the line, we're considered to have a strong trend and really strong momentum. And when the opposite's occurring and there's like really little space between, we have a weak trend. It's considered to be a weak trend and little momentum. Now the actual cloud itself, okay, so that's what I have plotted here. When price is above the cloud, we're going to be looking for buys. So right here, price is above the cloud, right? And when price is below the cloud, like it is here, we're going to look for sells. Really, really simple. Now, let's get into making it less messy. So you can see how these are checked off under style, all of the lines. what I would advise you to do is uncheck them as you go. So if you're just looking at, let's say we're looking at just the lagging span, okay? We just want to see what our trend strength is like. What I would advise you to do is get rid of these lines here, the conversion and the baseline, and just look at your lagging span. It's going to make it really, really nice. Another tip, get rid of lead 1 and lead 2. They're not really telling you anything. They're just outlining the cloud. So they would like outline it just like this, okay? And it's what you saw in the first line, and it just makes it look messy. I would unclick these, okay? That's gonna make it, you're always gonna wanna keep this clicked for the most part, unless you wanna remove the cloud for some reason, but that's what I would advise doing. And then, conversely, if you wanted to just look at, sorry, I should have left that. If you wanted to just look at the conversion line and the baseline, get rid of the lagging span, okay? Once you've looked at it and you've said, yep, I have strong momentum here, just get rid of it, take it off your chart. So that's how I make it look kind of nice like this. Now let's get into what you're really here to learn about, and it's entering a trade with Ichimoku. And guys, it's very, very simple. Sorry, I'm getting a little update there. It's very, very simple once we get into it. So here's how we do it. First, you're going to look at, is price above or below the cloud? Really simple, right? Second, we're going to check our trend strength, which we should be doing anyway. Next, wait for the conversion and the baseline to cross. That's your signal to enter. And guys, I am going to give you a really clear example coming up as well. And always use price action first. Don't ever use this as your only way to enter a trade. Use other confluence, like I said before. Okay, so definitely still be looking at structure and things like that. Okay, so entering a trade, I'm going to give you an example here now. So this is our example 1. So first thing we're going to do is price above or below the cloud, okay? So let's use this area here. Price is obviously below the cloud, right? I mean, we can all see that. So we're looking for a sell. Beautiful. And this, by the way, is on the daily time frame. It's best, I always say, it's best to use on the 4-hour and upward. If you want to try it on the lower time frames, by all means. But I've found that through back testing, 4-hour and up is best, okay, for using this. And it just depends on your style of trading. So if you're a day trader, you're probably going to want to use it on the 4-hour. If you're a swing trader, you're probably going to want to use it on the daily, but that's your call. All right, so now, next, what are we going to do? So next, we want to look at our trend strength, right? So we're going to look at the lagging span line. That's that green line. So what I've done here is I've removed the blue and the red line. Okay, so I've removed those, I've unclicked them. And those are called the conversion and the baseline, right? So you're just going to unclick those on the chart. Look how much easier, like it looks so much more nice, right? When you do it this way. That's just a little tip for you. So what this is telling me is that in this area here, we have nice, strong momentum, okay? And then towards the middle/bottom, we're starting to see that momentum fade. Next thing we're going to do is look at our actual entry. So we're looking for the blue and red line to cross. And remember, again, those are called the conversion and the baseline, but you could just call them blue and red. That's supposed to be an and sign there. And we're just waiting for them to cross. So in a downtrend, we're looking for the blue line to cross below the red. I just want to go back up for a second and look at our momentum here, because our momentum right here around where these lines were crossing was strong, and that's what's giving us another confirmation, okay? That's kind of the beautiful thing about the Ichimoku, is that you have confirmations within the indicator. So like we have momentum confirmation right within the one indicator, which is really nice. It gives you kind of that extra confirmation, or that added confluence. See how many times I can say confirmation in this video. And this is where we would enter. Sorry, just to go back to this. So we would enter a sell here, and then you can place your stop loss using, either fib retracements, using your zones, however you want to do that. I personally, this is how I would do it. I would have a zone drawn in around here, and I just place my stop loss above that. Okay. Some people would place it above the cloud. It, again, really depends on what your risk reward is and what your goals are there. So I can't really get into too much detail on that, but that's where you would enter. So super easy, right? Now, this is an example where I've left all the lines in here. So instead of getting rid of the lagging span or getting rid of the blue and red and looking at one thing or the other, I've just left everything in. You can see it's a bit more confusing. However, I'm going to go through an example where it does look like this, just in case you don't want to remove each thing as you go, each line as you go. I still would recommend that personally. But here, okay, price is above the cloud. So we're looking for buys. That's the first thing we're going to look at. Really simple. Second, let's look at our momentum. So momentum here, let me just, like around here is strong, right? We can see that price is pretty far from that lagging line. So that's great. Let me just erase that. Next, we're going to look for a cross, and we can see it happening here. Now, in an uptrend, we're looking for the blue line to cross above the red line, and it does happen, giving us our entry signal. And you can enter the trade assuming you have, used other confirmation. Now, you can technically use this as your first confirmation, right? But I would still use like your zones, your price action, and things like that. Always throw in that little disclaimer because I know some people hate indicators, and that's totally fine. I feel that indicators are a great confluence, but to each their own. Does it always work? I guess that kind of leads me into this. No, it doesn't always work. Definitely not. No indicator does. If it did, we would all be filthy, filthy rich. And I probably wouldn't be sitting here filming this video. I'd be like a multi-billionaire. So no, it is, however, a powerful tool, right? Like I've said, there's like confirmation within the tool itself, which is super cool. Here are some examples where it works best. So when price action is confirming what we already see. So if you're using like your zone to zone method, or you're using support and resistance line, or you're using, supply and demand zones, however you want to trade, I really don't care. But if that's confirming, what you're seeing with your own strategy, that's great. That's like a really good time to use it. When price is trending strongly, so don't try to use this in a range. All right. Especially on pairs like USD CAD, that's another one. Euro USD can be bad for this on the 4-hour, where you have those really long periods of consolidation. Don't try to use it within those periods. It's not going to work. Wait until you're in a nice trend. And on the higher time frames, again, so 4-hour and up, I wouldn't use it on the 15-minute personally, or anything lower than that. To each their own. If you want to try it, you certainly can. Just make sure you back test it. And that is it, you guys. Hopefully you liked this video. If you did, please subscribe and let me know in the comments below what you want to see next. I'm happy to do videos like this. I am uploading every day in September, so that's really exciting. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.